You're tuned into Tobi Talks, Episode 2, Becoming a Nurse. Are you about that life? Because Urban Dictionary defines about that life is when you are doing anything a normal person wouldn't do. So being a nurse, you're not normal. You are an extraordinary soul, and that is so beautiful. So I am going to share with you on today's episode of how you can get on your journey to become a nurse. Some of my takeaways are going to definitely be for high school students, some tips to help you get ready to get into that area and that field. College students, you're already in college and you're like, yo, I actually want to switch my major up a little bit because I'm not a normal person. I'm extraordinary, right? So I'll hook you up and give you some advice on that. And also, if you're already in your career field and you're like, man, I'm really about that life. I want to be a nurse. How can I change up the game if I'm already doing a career that's not in the medical field? So I'm going to share some of those tips with you guys today, and I really hope that helps get you on that journey when you about that life of being an extraordinary person. All right, let's jump in the conversation. So when I was in high school, right, I kind of already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a doctor that delivered babies, quote unquote, and I thought that was what I wanted to do. And I wasn't picking that field because, I'm Nigerian and my parents are, I want you to be a doctor. I want you to do something that will make us proud and we can brag to our colleagues. No, not even close. Like, I was far from the typical, let's do what my parents say kind of child. I don't know. I was very rebellious, but I kind of already knew I wanted to be a doctor that helped deliver babies, right? But I didn't know what that entailed. So I did a lot of volunteering. I actually volunteered at a children's hospital in Texas, and doing that really helped me see what the healthcare field was like. And when I saw that, I realized that, wait a minute, I actually don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. Like, I got to see how the nurses interacted with patients and how they were playing with kids, and it just looked so much fun. Like, they were there, they were live, they were a part of the whole aspect of being in the hospital. And then in between that, I would see like a doctor run by in a white coat and then come back again. And I'm like, oh wait, I don't want to do that. Like, they're not even around most of the times. I apologize to any of you that are actually pursuing to be a doctor. Definitely do your research. Don't just take it off of my experience. But back to the story. So seeing that, I was like, man, I really want to be a nurse. And while I was in high school, I was already taking the typical science classes. I think that's a prerequisite for you to have to take some of your science classes like biology, chemistry, and I think physics was an option for me, but I took physics and stuff like that. But those classes actually did help me understand anatomy and the science behind certain things that you're going to learn more when you get into college. So I would definitely advise, if you are in high school and you want to do something in the health field, definitely pay more attention to your science classes. Biology really, really helps, of course. Chemistry helps. And I think those are areas that I would definitely highlight. Also, volunteer. Definitely volunteer. Like, don't waste your summers. Like, I remember there were summers where we did nothing but play on the streets, which was fun, don't get me wrong. And then there was those days where there was just like, you just sit at home and watch it rain, and it was boring, But if you do some volunteering services, whether it's at a home health center, whether it's at a children's hospital, I remember at a children's hospital in Texas, I was a part of their radio show, and we would help bring different activities to the kids during the radio segment. And that was really fun because you really got to go and bring fun prizes for the kids, and the kids really looked forward to it. So that was something that I did during the summer that was really fun. So I would encourage finding somewhere you can volunteer and really get your feet wet in the healthcare field and get to be in that atmosphere and see what it's really about. Also, there's organizations in your high school that you can find out about. There is HOSA, which is like a health organization club that you can join. There are also other opportunities as well that you should definitely check out your counselor's office. So I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm all like, a little bit older and I'm telling you all this cool stuff. I dodged my counselor office. I could not. First of all, she was old and boring. So I could not even stay awake for her to have a conversation with me. So I never went to her for advice. But I did go to we had a career office, And I went in there all the time, and I would just look at different kind of pamphlets and look at different stuff. And the cool thing about it was it had a lot of waivers. So if you're trying to get ready for college and take your SATs and all that kind of fun stuff, they have waiver programs that would pay for it. And then also, they also have, certain schools do this, where they have CNA programs. And CNA is becoming a certified nursing assistant. CNA, certified nursing assistant. Yes. So to do that, they actually have those free programs at your school. Of course, you have to be 18, but your school usually can pay for that. So find out through your counselor, through your career office, if that is something they provide, because not only having a CNA license would give you that exposure, you need to know a little bit about, how to take care of a patient. On top of that, you would have a bomb summer job. Like, there are so many hospitals and home health cares that use CNAs and use those assistants. So that would be an awesome way to make some buku money through the summer, I also would encourage you to look for some nursing camps. They have tons that go on during the summertime. So take some time out to Google up some hospitals in your area, surrounding areas, or even outside of your city, and see which ones have nursing camps that you can go to. They let you kind of shadow a nurse, be side by side, and see what nurses actually do at some of the camps that we as nurses help assist with kids or with specialty services and stuff like that. So look into those things. And last but not least, definitely see if you can do a CPR first aid class. That's a really good necessity. I mean, I encourage that for everyone, of course, but if you're going into the avenue of nursing, you should definitely see if you can go ahead and take a CPR first aid course. So let's talk about how you can become a nurse once you've graduated from high school or you have your GED. Those are two things that you definitely need in order to start to become a nurse. One of the avenues is going to a vocational training program. A lot of the vocational training program offers an LPN or an LVN. So an LVN is a licensed vocational nurse, and an LPN is a licensed practical nurse. These programs are about a year or so, and they can be really cost effective if you know that, hey, I actually just want to get my feet wet and I don't want to go full force into an associate's degree or to a university and get my bachelor's in nursing. I just kind of want to see what it's like just at a standard technical training program level. And that is totally okay. Definitely do it. I encourage it. Another avenue of going into nursing would be getting your associate's degree. You can get an Associates of Science in nursing, and it's called an ASN or an ADN. So an ASN is Associates of Science in nursing, and then an ADN is Associate's degree in nursing. These programs are about 2 years or 3 years. It depends. And a lot of them are offered at community colleges. So if you know that, hey, I want to be cost effective and I want to enjoy the community college experience and I'm not ready for a university, or I just want to go a different route, which is community college and it's cheaper, definitely do that. I mean, these are wonderful opportunities for you. Another way is going to a university. And if you go straight to a university, that is called a BSN, which is a Bachelor's in Science of Nursing. A lot of those programs in the university are about 4 years, 2 years doing your prereqs, and another 2 years or 2.5 years entering the nursing program. So do your research, because every university is different. A lot of the requirements are different as well to get into the nursing program. So this is just a couple of routes you can take to become a nurse. You can do the vocational training program, you can do the associate's degree RN, or you can become a BSN, Bachelor's of Nursing. So there's so many routes. Definitely do your research and see what is the best route for you. Also know that any avenue you take, there's also other ways to advance in your nursing degree. So if you start off as an LVN and you realize I want to go all the way to get my bachelor's degree, there are tons of bridge programs out there that do that. You can start from an LVN and then go and get your bachelor's in nursing. You can start as an ADN and go and get your bachelor's and your master's all at once in nursing. There's so many different aspects and avenues to get to what your goal is. So don't ever let anyone tell you or feel like, oh, because I started at this area, I can never go to another area. That's not true. Do your research. Google is your friend. Google it. I Google everything. Google it. So let's talk about, you're already in college, you've picked a degree, and you realize, I actually want to go into nursing. How can I do that? You can. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm stuck with this degree or stuck with this decision that I've made and I don't want to be an accountant. I actually want to be a rock star nurse, or I don't want to be a gym teacher. I actually want to be an extraordinary nurse. There's tons of different avenues to do that. So when I was in college, no lie, I changed my major 4 times. Sweet Jesus, I changed my major 4 times, y'all. I knew I wanted to be a nurse, but for some way, somehow, I started off with a pharmacy degree. Definitely was a parent decision, not mine. And then once I was rebellious and decided, no, I'm not doing pharmacy because my heart is set on doing nursing, I changed my major to nursing, did my prereqs in community college. Then I got into a nursing program, but the nursing program I got into was not the fit for me. That's another story for another day. So I went ahead and changed my major to psychology since I didn't really do so well my first semester in nursing. So as I'm doing my psychology degree, I decided once I'm done, I'll go back to school and do an accelerated program to get back into nursing. So a semester before I was about to graduate with my psychology degree, I actually got accepted into a nursing program. And the reason why I'm sharing you this story is because it's really big to identify if you want to do nursing and you have not graduated yet. The reason why I decided not to graduate with my psychology degree and to go ahead and just switch my major again back to nursing was because of financial aid. So there are certain Pell Grants and assistance that you can get through financial aid as an undergraduate that as a graduate you will not get. So if I would have graduated with my psychology degree and not have picked up nursing, I would have now had to spend out of pocket or try to find scholarships or get a loan to do a second bachelor's degree. So that's why I changed my major back to nursing and went ahead and extended my time in college by doing nursing and not fulfilling my psychology, because honestly, financially, that was a big decision for me. I knew I did not want to take out more loans to do another bachelor degree, and I really wanted to make sure I utilize all the Pell Grants, financial aid that I was getting through my state. So that's one thing I would definitely advise for you to do, is to go to talk to your financial aid department to make sure that if you graduate with a bachelor's degree, will you have grants? Will you have other kind of resources that financial aid can provide besides a loan that you can pursue another degree? Because if so, then you can graduate in both. You can end up graduating and then just using some of your courses that you have already taken with your bachelor's degree to try to apply to your nursing degree. And since you're already walking around campus anyway, going to financial aid, go ahead and map yourself onto the nursing department and go talk to an advisor. Sit down with an advisor and see what classes have you already taken that would apply to the nursing degree, and see what other classes that you might need to take in order to get into the program. So don't feel like you have to start all over from scratch. No, go talk to an advisor, because some of the classes you've already taken, like algebra, your English classes, psychology, and all those other basic core classes, those things apply to the nursing degree. There might be some other classes that you might need to take, like sciences or your anatomy or your biology or microbiology, that the nursing advisor can advise to you. And if you want to do those things, it's very possible, but make sure you go seek an advisor to see what you've already taken and what can apply. And if you feel like, oh, I don't want to be here any longer and waste my money taking classes that I don't need so I can get into the nursing program, then feel free to step out and go do some of those courses at a community college. Just make sure they transfer. Please make sure your classes from community college will transfer to the university you're trying to apply to for nursing school. That is one of the biggest things you need to make sure that you don't waste your money or waste your time. So those are the 2 top things. Talk to financial aid and see if you're financially able to get grants to continue to pursue your new degree choice of nursing, and then talk to a nursing advisor to make sure that, hey, these are the classes I've taken. Do some of these apply? And what else do I need to do to be able to apply? I would also encourage for you to go to some of the nursing organizations on campus, get to talk to a few nursing students who are already in the program, and kind of get a feel of what the program would be like, because it's completely different from your course of study now. If you go into this program, the studying is different, the environment is different, the educational understanding is going to be different. So it's best to talk to a nursing student, go to the organizations, network, really network, and really get to find out what it's like being a nursing student, and see if this is what you really want to do. So now let's jump to, you're already in your career and you're thinking about switching it up and going to do nursing. Well, one route to do that would be looking for accelerated programs. Now, a lot of the accelerated programs are offered to those who already have some form of a diploma, associate's degree, or a bachelor's degree. It could be in nursing or it can be in a completely different field, and you're already in the workforce. So a lot of these accelerated programs are geared for people like that, people who are already in their career. So the advantages of doing an accelerated program is that the program is quicker. So a 4-year bachelor's program for nursing would be more like 18 months for an accelerated program. The cost will also be a little bit more because you are trying to squish in a lot of time and get this degree shorter than the longer route. It's helpful for you because you've already been in the workforce, so your mindset is focused and you really want to get this and get out. So the accelerated program is really, really good, but I would definitely ask for you to do some research. Google up different kinds of accelerated programs. There are a variety of them out there. Some of them are full force. You have to be in class 24/7. There are no breaks. Unlike college, you have your winter break, your summer break, your spring break. There are no breaks in the accelerated program. You are going full force. Also, even for the ones online too, you'll be taking on a good load. So don't let that scare you, but definitely keep in mind of your time and how to balance out both. Some things to consider is, can you work and do this program at the same time? Like I said, there are no breaks. You are going to be completely studying, taking exams, and doing clinicals all at once in a shorter time frame. So it's going to be really hard to balance a work life as well as trying to be successful in this program. So those are some things to consider if you really want to go for your nursing degree. There are a lot of flexible programs out there, so I do want to keep that in mind for you, just to make sure that you're looking at those things. Also, financially, if you already have a bachelor's degree, it's going to be very difficult to get any kind of grants. Like I said previously, if you've already graduated as an undergrad and you have a bachelor's already in whatever it is, it's going to be really hard to get grants or get free money from your state. You really will only have the options of scholarship or having to pull out loans. But the good thing is, if you're working at a hospital, you're working at an organization, some of these organizations and hospitals or companies will do tuition reimbursement or help support you going back. So that's something you should definitely look into. If you are a LVN and you want to go back to get your BSN, look and see if your hospital offers tuition reimbursement. If you are a business person and you're, working in accounting or something like that, and you want to go back to get a BSN and you want to do the accelerated route, look at your company, see if they offer tuition reimbursement, because that will really, really help, especially when you can't get financial aid the way that you used to when you were undergrad. So that's my tip. I would definitely, like I said, Google it, get all your information, and I hope that this small little tidbits and advice helps you on your journey to become a nurse. Remember, you are not alone. I got your back, or at least try to support your back. I don't really actually have it, but I'll support it. So just tune in for our next episode. We'll be talking about, you failed out of nursing school, now what? I don't know. Find out. I'll talk to you guys soon, and thanks for tuning in to Tobi Talks.